everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's Rodgers Packers going up against Wilson Seahawks. For the call, let's send you out to the broadcast booth, where we'll join Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Today we've got a good NFC matchup lined up here between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. Design run for their wideout. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Ty Montgomery just 7 carries against the Colts, but that was a product, I think, of them getting behind 31-13. See if they stay on the ground for second down. Shift together here from the D-line. They'll run here. This is James Starks. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. And a wide receiver to watch in this offense, certainly Jordy Nelson.
And most defenses watch him run past them. Jordy Nelson can run every route in the route tree and take it to the house.
Well, they brought in an extra defensive back here, so probably not expecting a run on 3rd and 3.
A good call.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. It's caught. Nelson. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And that's understanding where the markers are, because it's not just running to them. Because on the catch, you could actually be pushed back before the first down. It's getting past it and allowing that opportunity to drift back towards the first down line and still having picked it up. Really well run.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
They run again with Starks. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed. And that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And Nelson's got it here right side. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Now he'll throw deep left side. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. And now a peek at the starters on the defensive side. And on 2nd and 10 now. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. And he's brought down. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. This is Starks. Down to the 25. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make the play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete. He was looking for Ty Montgomery that time, and it'll bring up third down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
He's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on third down. Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And that is incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. Now fourth down.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
So now on fourth down, Rodgers will give way to Mason Crosby for the field goal try. Right hash mark, a 42-yard attempt. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Christian Michael, 68 yards. And the Seahawks have taken a first quarter lead. And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
Hauschgedow to send this one away following the score. And the kick goes outside the white lines. That's why the flag comes out.
Yes, and that was an error by the kicker, and it will give the offense great starting field position.
Starts. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay up.
Try to get it to Cobb, and it's intercepted. And some room to roam now. Past the 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Short throw, pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect, and this remains a 13-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Packers trot back onto the field. Let's see what their offense has here. Well, I'll tell you what they have coming up, though, the next 3 weeks, all on the road at the Titans, at the Redskins, and then they visit Philly as well.
A really difficult stretch, and that's the counterbalance to earlier in the season when they had 4 straight games at Lambeau. They went 3-1 during that time, so that was pretty darn good. Now they're on a 2-game losing skid headed into that 3 games on a road run.
He completes it to Nelson. Jordy Nelson's Week 9 numbers were identical to his Week 8 numbers against Atlanta, 94 yards and a touchdown.
Consistency, consistency, consistency.
Doesn't get any more consistent than that.
Not at all, but look, he may not be 100% coming off of the knee injury from last year, but it seems pretty close to that, and that chemistry has been rekindled with Aaron Rodgers.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets them a new set of downs.
Well, I liked it. Just take the snap, burrow forward, pick up the few inches you need for a first down.
And defensively, I don't think they were expecting that. They looked a little surprised in the middle.
Yeah, a little bit wary there, weren't they? Because that can be a throwaway down where maybe you go play action, fake it, and try and get something big. But instead he said, forget it. Let's just get a first down and start a new set.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well, I got to tell the story this morning of us going to get breakfast at the hotel on the omelet line. The young man serving the omelets had on a Jay Ajayi jersey. He claimed he thinks he's the best running back in the league right now. There might be a few above him. What do you think?
Maybe a few above him, but I like his enthusiasm. And you did notice that the purchase tag was still on it because that was recent after the 200-yard games Ajayi had. But think about it this way. This was the question mark running back group. Zeke Elliott, a rookie. David Johnson out of Arizona, was he as good as what we saw at the end of last year? Melvin Gordon coming off of the knee injury of last season. I mean, you're talking about a bunch of great runners who are having years that maybe we didn't expect.
Cliff Averill in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down.
But Brandon, sometimes I think when we watch games, we're actually watching a living museum because we're seeing the evolution of positions almost with each passing game. How about defensive ends nowadays and the way that they can run almost all the way across the field?
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they're so strong, but they're so lean. They can move so quick with those bodies.
It's almost unfair. You're supposed to be able to know where a defensive end is supposed to be on every play. These guys flash so quickly, you're not sure where they're going to end up.
Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
On the carry, Michael. And now where are they going to mark him here? Well, they say he did get back to the 1-yard line, but that could have easily been 2 points the other way.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now Wilson, complete. Richardson has it. And they'll get him down right at around the 11-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
That was a big conversion there on 3rd down, and I remember playing, and all the time on the sidelines, you hear a coach calling for the punt team to get ready on 3rd down because he can't call for it on 4th down. It's too late getting on the field. So a lot of times you're lining up, and the offense can see you lining up. Occasionally it serves as motivation for them. I'm not letting these guys back out here. I want to keep the ball on offense, and that's exactly what they did.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. A gain of a yard gets them back where they started. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Well, it wasn't much of a gain, but we're getting near the 2-minute warning, so maybe they just want to get to that point, regroup, and decide what they want to do the rest of the half.
And let's see, the Packers defensively 6 DBs, so a dime look on third.
Could play coverage or bring pressure.
And able to find Graham, complete. And he's brought down after a good gain.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. And he showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball, the ones in the huddle doing the chirping, right now I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one. On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks. So you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker. And on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball, and he made a nice tackle.
A loss of a yard, and now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And Pete Carroll looks like he likes his chances with the offense on the field. They're going for it on 4th. Fourth down. Here's Wilson. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Give him 9 on the play, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
As a defender, I always found the slant route extremely difficult to cover unless you're able to jump on top of it early, because once he gets his hands on the ball, he's at full speed going away from you.
It all happens in the blink of an eye, doesn't it?
It really does. The timing is so important. That ball's got to be out of the hands of the quarterback and to the receiver like that. And if it is, you often get a very successful play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And the offense readies for play number 10 of this series. They run again with Michael. That gets them 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's in the cornerback position.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. They come out here in the eye. They'll run it here with Michael. And he'll take this one down inside the 5 to the 3. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. From the 3-yard line once more. Now here's 3rd and goal. Graham slotted out to the left. On 3rd and goal, Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Morgan Burnett. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
A final shot before half for Rodgers. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by mark down at the 21-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the third quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the second half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
The evolution of Clay Matthews as a player, it's just one that they're going to end up writing books about. He didn't even start until his senior year at USC. He didn't start in high school. And now he's
pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Mike Daniels in there to bury him for a loss of 11. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. There's Wilson to throw. He's going to loft one. Deep left. He's got a man. Complete. A gain of 39 that time.
I know they had good coverage downfield, but you have to wonder, on third and long like that, how does that happen, that they can get that far downfield and complete a pass? You got to guard the sticks, understand where you are, so it's almost like someone fell asleep at the switch, and now that the play's been completed, they've got to dust themselves off on defense, pick it up, and figure out how to not let that happen again.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here.